In the small village of Udum, deep in the heart of Nigeria, lived a young boy named Emeka. He was 12 years old, with a V-shaped face, dark skin, and bright, curious eyes. While other boys played football in the dusty fields, Emeka loved something else: watching the sky, listening to the wind, and studying the movement of the river that flowed beside their village. Every day, he would sit by the riverbank, tossing small pebbles into the water, watching the ripples spread. He had always believed that the river spoke, not with words, but through its movements, its waves, and its changing colors. One evening, as the sun dipped below the trees and painted the sky in deep orange and purple, Emeka noticed something strange. The river was not normal. The water, usually calm and clear, had turned murky and restless. The current, usually slow, had become fast and aggressive. The river was rising. He looked up. The sky was darkening too quickly, the cloud thick and heavy, the wind colder than usual. Something inside him whispered, "Danger is coming." Emeka ran home, his heart pounding. "Mama, Mama, the river is rising too fast. Something is wrong," he cried. His mother, stirring a pot of steaming yam porridge, barely glanced at him. "Ah, Emeka, rain comes and goes. Go and wash your hands for dinner." "But Mama, I feel it. A big flood is coming." His mother sighed and patted his head. "You and your strange ideas. The elders know best. If there was danger, they would tell us." But Emeka was not convinced. That night, while the village prepared for sleep, he ran to the village square where the elders sat under the great iroko tree, sharing stories. He bowed respectfully. "Baba Okon, Baba Musa, please listen to me. The river is rising too fast. I have never seen it this way before. I think a flood is coming." Baba Okon, the oldest of the elders, laughed. "My son, I have lived in this village for 70 years. This river has never harmed us." Baba Musa nodded. "The gods protect us. Go home and sleep." Other villagers chuckled. What does a small boy know? Emeka felt frustrated. No one believed him. That night, as everyone slept, the storm began. First, a light drizzle, then fat raindrops, then a powerful downpour. The wind howled through the trees, shaking rooftops. By midnight, the river had grown into a raging monster. Water spilled over the banks, rushing towards the village like an angry beast. Inside his small hut, Emeka woke up to the sound of rushing water. He ran outside, and his worst fear was happening. The flood had arrived. The muddy water was already swallowing the lower parts of the village. He could see chickens, firewood, and baskets floating away, but the people were still asleep. Emeka knew there was no time. If they didn't wake up now, the flood would trap them. He grabbed his father's old talking drum and climbed onto the village bell tower, a small wooden platform used to make announcements. Then, with all his strength, he began to beat the drum. Boom! 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 The powerful sound echoed through the night. The villagers stirred in their beds. Boom! 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 Now people started waking up. Who is beating the drum at this hour? Someone grumbled. Then they saw it. The flood was here. Panic spread. Water was rushing through the village, swallowing huts, farmlands, and everything in its path. The people screamed, but Emeka had a plan. "Run to the hills now," he shouted. "Leave everything behind." At first, some hesitated, but then they saw how fast the water was moving. Mothers grabbed their babies, fathers pulled their children close. The elderly leaned on their walking sticks. The villagers ran for their lives, climbing up to the rocky hills that overlooked Udom. As they reached safety, they looked down and gasped. Their entire village had been swallowed by water. By morning, the storm had passed. The flood waters had settled. The village was gone, but not a single life was lost. Baba Okon, usually a proud and stubborn man, placed a hand on Emeka's shoulder. His old eyes were filled with gratitude. My son, we were wrong. You saw what we could not. You saved us all. The villagers cheered for Emeka. Mothers hugged him. Fathers patted his back. The elders gave him the greatest honor. The talking drum, the same drum he had used to save them. From that day on, the people of Udum never ignored the wisdom of the young. And so, Emeka, the boy who stopped a flood, became the hero of Udum. Moral of the story: wisdom is not about age. Sometimes the smallest voice carries the greatest warning.